Today I fucked up by shouting dildo at my boss. Dildo was not the word I was looking for. Obligatory, this did not happen today, but about a decade ago. So I graduated in 2008, height of the financial crisis, and there were literally zero opportunities in my field. I bounced around a few crappy jobs for a year or two before finally realizing that I needed to do something more productive. I was very fortunate to be able to get a loan to go back to school and get a postgraduate degree. When I finished my master's degree, I applied to a bunch of positions and finally had a couple of bites from employers. After interviewing for an organization that certified products for their safety and environmental performance, I was offered a position in a team, and it lined up really nicely with what I wanted to do as a career. I was so pumped. The small team were really welcoming and friendly, my manager was great, and my director was a genuinely wonderful guy. For me, I couldn't believe my luck. I was so relieved to finally have my foot in the door at an organization where I could build a career and have some security. I wanted to do well, and make a good impression from the start. And that's when it happened. I'm doing some training in my first week, reading through a bunch of technical documents. It was a little dry and my attention was wandering. My manager is opposite me and there's a team member on my right, quietly working away. My director is in the same room talking to the certification manager. They are quite literally number 2 and 3 in terms of rank at our company after the MD. They are discussing some equipment and my director says, "Yep, unfortunately times are changing and building those products that way just doesn't happen anymore. They are going the way of the... Damn, what's the name of that bird that went extinct?" "I know," I thought to myself, glancing in his direction. "HMM? What is it called?" ponders the certification manager. I know. The urge to put my hand up and politely show of my prowess for extinct avians is becoming overwhelming. Bah, that's gonna drive me mad. My director says with resignation. Well, now, he's practically asking me to tell him the answer, and I'm not gonna let this opportunity to show him how much of a good hire I am. A young up-and-comer with a broad worldly knowledge. A dildo. My manager sputters her tea back into her mug. Everyone looks at me horrified as my smug face slowly hears the words that just came out of my face, and I immediately try to re-inhale them. No, dodo, dodo, exclamation mark. It was too late. My co-worker on my right is literally crying with laughter. My manger is covered in tea, and fortunately for me my two very senior colleagues found it hilarious. For next 5 years it got raised for the dumbest moment award at our holiday season party, and every year it got rejected because HR said it was my PG enough. Needless to say, I'm still at the organization. It's been a wonderful place to work and I have managed to further my career as I hoped. Not sure I'll ever truly live it down though. Too long didn't read. I shouted dildo at my boss when I was trying to show how intelligent I was, and I meant to say dodo. Hilarity ensued. Didn't limit career opportunities, thankfully. And forevermore at that workplace, whenever someone couldn't remember the name of something, someone else would yell a dildo. This is hilarious. Love it. Maybe that's why dodos are extinct. Thoughtful face. In a church meeting I once said fellation when I meant flagellation. Flushed face. This has truly made my day, my god. Today I fucked up by gifting a condom with my face on it to my crush as a joke at our Valentine's date. This happened 4 years ago on Valentine's Day. Too long didn't read. I gifted a condom with my face on it to my crush as a joke. She blocked me on all socials, and at school they started to call me condomedian, condom plus comedian. Back when I was a teenager in high school with my hormones exploding, I met a fantastic girl at my high school. I was a bit introvert, but when I come out of my shell I become a very funny guy. A friend of mine was her friend, so he decided to bring us together one day at lunch. I started to talk with her and we found out to have a lot of things in common. I started to believe to have some chances when she gave me her phone number. Months passed and we started to become even closer. When Valentine's Day was getting closer, I decided to ask her out on a date. And she accepted it. I was so fucking happy. It was at that moment the best day of my life. At V-Day, I wanted to make something special, something stupid but at the same time funny. Something that made her laugh for the whole evening. So, as I said, I am a very funny guy, so I decided to print a photo of my face and to tape it to a condom that I bought. I told my friends this idea and they laughed a lot and pushed me to do it. I decided to gift it at the end of the date. So we went to the restaurant. It was all romantic and it went pretty well. Till the end. When I drove her back to her house, I said, "One moment, I have a gift for you." I gave her the condom and said, "Maybe one day you will need it." I was smiling but she wasn't. She left the car without saying a word. When I came back to home, I found out she blocked me on every social. I was so fucking dumb for doing this. When we returned back to school, people started to laugh when they saw me. She told her friends what happened and they told everyone in school. They started to call me condomedian, condom plus comedian. I don't know what the fuck was on when I decided that it was a good idea. My god, I was a very stupid teenager, but I admit, it makes me laugh still today. I think she would have found it funny if you had been dating for a while. I think it's funny, but I think most of us would ditch someone who brought up sex on the first date. People are saying it was an overreaction, but I don't think so. Giving her a condom on the first date? Nope. Straight up weird. Definitely F you. Glad to see your username checks out. But other than that, all I have to say is oof. So many comments here giving the girl shit for not having a sense of humor. My dudes, the girl was smart in ditching because this guy brought up sex on a first date, which rings danger alarm bells for girls at that age. The humor was going to fall flat no matter who the girl was. Let me remind you all that the pressure that horny teenage boys heap on girls to put out during high school is awful, and that joke was the worst kind to make on a first date. It showed such a lack of respect for her as a person, and it made this guy's intentions very clear. Nothing about her not having a sense of humor. It was a bad joke with bad timing on a young girl who trusted this person to be sweet. To op, glad you cringe at it. It means you've learned over time how not to be a creep to women. Good work. Thought it was funny. At first I thought she'd been dating for 4 years, then gifted it to her and she reacted this way in spite of knowing your sense of humor. But actually this was done on the first date. Yikes, my man. I think we all have done some stupid shit to try and make a girl laugh in HSTO. Sorry it didn't work out in the end. Today I fucked up for being romantic and buying my long-distance fiancé a Valentine's Day surprise. This happened last year on V-Day. My fiancé and I were spending a few months long distance, so I decided to call a shop near her house and ordered a small chocolate cake for her to pick up, and I let her know there's a surprise waiting. I also convinced her to walk since it was a nice day outside. She walked the 5 minutes to the shop and gave the woman behind the counter her name. But instead of giving my fiancé the small $10 cake I ordered, the woman asked for $40 payment. Confused and annoyed at me, my fiancé paid the $40 and was handed a giant fucking cake to now walk home with. I receive a call about 20 minutes later and fiancé is obviously pissed that I'd make her pay $40 for a giant fucking cake and not tell her to drive, because obviously that would have been practical. I'm like, WTF. I call the shop and turns out the lady gave my fiancé somebody else's order. Lady tries to apologize, but honestly nothing in the world can fix this because it's not me who's angry at me. Fiancé kept the cake, ate as much as she could and froze the rest. I ate some a month later when I returned and we still have 2 slices left in the freezer that we forgot about. TL, Dr. Fiancé was given the wrong cake, charged $40, had to carry a huge cake home, and we still have some left over a year later. This also sucks for whoever ordered the giant cake. They either have to settle for whatever is on the shelf or wait for the bakery to make another of that specific order. So you got to have your cake and eat it too. Sounds like a win. Bakery fucked up here, not you. The cake shop should have refunded the $40! Exclamation mark. Still not as bad as the dude who went to GF on a flight at the same time that GF went to meet dude on a flight.